In this presentation, we are going to talk about classification. Classification is a kind of a relationship between organisms. It means in here we have to describe similarities, differences among organisms, phenotype differences, genotype differences, and also other similarities. Giving a name for particular organism is called as taxonomy. So, to give a name or classification process goes with specific concept and features, so we'll go through with each separately. First one is about homologous structures. So these type of organisms, these type of features coming from common ancestor. As an example, bat wings and primate arms. Okay, so think about the structure of a primate arm and also bat wings. They are coming from common ancestor. They have same structural features but different function. Same structure, different function, but coming from common ancestors. These type of features we called as relationship between organisms called as homologous structures. Second one is about analogous structures. As an example, bat wings and bird wings. They are not coming from common ancestors. They have similar function. It means flying basically, but they have different structures. Okay, same function, different structures and different ancestors. So that type of structural features called as analogous structures. Next is about categorizing all the organisms. We can categorize all the organisms under three large groups: archaea, bacteria, eukaryota. If you can remember about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, under prokaryota we got kingdom Monera. Under eukaryota we got kingdoms as Protoctista, fungi, plantae and animalia. So the microorganisms, especially bacteria, found in extreme environments such as extremely hot environment, extreme cold, extreme it means extreme low pH or high pH. So those type of environment also gets different organisms. So these bacteria called as archaea. Those are considered as domain archaea. Second one is about domain bacteria, kingdom eukaryota. Kingdom eukaryota, it means normal bacteria cells, and also blue-green algae goes under bacteria. Remember, archaea and also bacteria, domain archaea and domain bacteria, they are prokaryotes basically. Third one is eukaryota. It means they have membrane-bounded organelles and also nucleus. Kingdom Protoctista, kingdom fungi, plantae and animalia goes under eukaryota. So these are the domains. This is the summary of classifying organism under three domains. Charles, who's only developed this concept of three large groups called domains. So you can see three domains separately: domain archaea, domain bacteria, domain eukaryota. So these are the kingdoms goes under each domain separately. After that, there are some rules you should follow when you are writing scientific name. Especially when you are writing it, we use two names, genus and species name. You have to write genus names, species names properly and separately. Even though you are typing it, you have to type genus first, then species name second. First letter of genus must be capital. All the other letters, including name of the species, also goes with simple letters. If you type, you can use Italy form. If you write, you have to underline genus name, species name separately. So these rules prepared by scientists called Carolus Linnaeus. So this is the taxonomy of a human. So we are considered under domain Eukaryota. Okay, not archaea or bacteria, that is Eukaryota. Then kingdom Animalia, phylum is Chordata, class Mammalia, order primates, family name is Hominidae, genus Homo, species sapiens. So Homo sapiens is our scientific name. Modern man is considered under Homo sapiens sapiens. So this is the taxonomy of human. The concept of species. So we can categorize organism under different species using this concept. First one is we consider about the physical structures, physical features of the organism to categorize them under separate species. Same species goes with reproduction. They won't be able to reproduce with other species, but when it goes with plant, it can be some changes, but most probably when it goes with animals, same species go with reproduction. But if we categorize all the organism using morphological species concept, we won't be able to do it properly. Why? As an example, if you think about peacocks, male and females are different. They have different physical features. Okay, so if you think about same features, we won't be able to categorize them under same species. Second one is about reproductive or biological species concept. So this is bit good. Why? Because same species goes with producing offsprings. Okay, fertile, viable offsprings. So they won't be able to reproduce and produce offsprings. It means fertile, viable offsprings with another species. So this reproductive or biological species concept also very important. But when it goes with plants, some plants consist of same set of features go with reproduction, so there can be some limitations. Next one is about ecological species model based on the niche. It means basically habitat, the place, the role that they play in the environment. Using that we can categorize organisms. Aquatic, terrestrial, yeah, it means birds, just like birds, so they fly. So these type of niche based on ecological species model also we can categorize organisms for certain level. Mate recognition of a species model, it means producing fertile offspring, so they shows separate mating behaviors. Specific mating behaviors goes with species separately, each species separately. The last one is genetic species model. This is about DNA evidences. We can receive DNA sample and go with band patterns. So each species gets unique band patterns. So as human we have specific band pattern. As cats they have specific band patterns. Okay, so using genetic engineering, using DNA samples, we can categorize organisms into several species. Limitations we discuss. So I'll just go through with the limitations again. So finding evidences are very important, and sometimes we won't be able to find much more evidences, especially DNA samples goes with last done. It means fossil organisms, it's hard to find. And when it goes with plants, they go with more asexual reproduction, and also sometimes related species can go with reproduction. So it's hard to categorize under several species. So this is the technique that we can extract DNA and get the band pattern to categorize under species concept. So that is called as gel electrophoresis. This is the technique, and we can identify the band pattern of each organism separately using DNA sample. So DNA sample must be taken, and we can introduce this DNA sample to gel electrophoresis. They have plus and minus charges, and according to the size of the fragment, it move towards positive and negative places. So it will lead to give us specific band pattern according to the size and the charges of the each DNA fragment. Okay, we can use a dye stain into this, and this technique gives us evidences of species. And also we can use some blood pigments from organisms for classification, because we have hemoglobin, some organisms they have hemocyanin, some of them have hemoerythrin, and also metabolic activity scores with animals are different. So we can use those ATP production relationship between metabolic activities to give a name or classify them under separate species. And also sometimes endosymbionts, it means there are some living organisms live inside cells. So as human we have specific organisms, as dogs they have another type of organism. So these are the evidences that we can use to categorize organisms under species. So these are the classification actually of 6 kingdom and 5 kingdoms. So under 5 kingdoms we get kingdom Monera, kingdom Protoctista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. So if you categorize them under 6 kingdom level, we have kingdom Archaea. It means actually that is domain Archaea. This is kingdom Archaeobacteria, kingdom Bacteria, it means kingdom Monera, kingdom Protoctista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. So these are the things goes under classification. Thank you.